Hello, welcome to Bellydance with Caroline. Today we're going to have a little look at the shoulder shimmy. So what looks nice and easy actually is quite difficult to do. So I've deliberately put on a really noisy coin belt so that you can see what you don't want to have happening is that. So you've got to stay really solid here. Separate here from here. Stand nice and tall. Make sure you've got your tummy muscles in. I've actually got the front leg on the ball of the foot, and I'm at a slight diagonal just because I think it looks prettier than being directly on in front. And there's two things going on with this. So the first thing is these little muscles here that move your shoulders. Now what you want to do with those muscles is you don't want to think about them going up. You want to think about them going forward and back. Now obviously you only get a small movement, so you also have to use the muscles here. So you try the little muscles in your shoulders, relax them, and then just do your upper body. When I say upper body, I'm kind of going from here upwards. With my shoulders at the moment, they're just resting. So then you want to combine the two things. So you want to, again, make sure you've got your tummy muscles working. Make sure you're nice and long, so you've got a nice gap between your lower rib and your waist. Make sure your legs are nice and grounded and solid, even though I've got one on the ball of the foot, it feels in touch with the floor. Make sure that your breath is coming nice and naturally, so you don't start going like a panting dog. So try bringing the two together slowly. So I'm using that muscle, the shoulder muscle at the top there, and the muscles on the side at the same time. And it might help if you imagine, rather than going forward and forward and forward and forward, that you're actually going back and back and back and back. You'll notice there's a very slight difference in how the movement looks. So back and back and back and back, forward and forward and forward and forward. And really, when we do belly dance, you're really thinking forward and forward and forward and forward. However, as a beginner, if you start thinking forward and forward, often you go up and up, which is why I'm saying try thinking back and back. And then when you feel that those shoulder blades are sliding back and back and back, almost like you've got an itch here, and you're trying to scratch it. Get a good scratch going. When you've got that feeling and the shoulders aren't going up and down, then start thinking forward and forward and forward and forward. If you imagine someone's hand was here, you're pushing that hand. But it's not here. Oops, excuse me. It's here. And the same here. Put your hand there and push it. But not up, forward. It's very difficult sometimes to get a sense of what's going on with your shoulders, so it really does help if you can see yourself in the mirror. It also can help if you've just got your hand here, just to remind you that it's forward and back, and up and down. And you will feel this rise slightly, but it has to, physically has to, but it's not shrugging up and down. That is different to that. So let's get ourselves nice, good posture. Imagine you're resting your hands on something. Sometimes people say on the back of a chair or something like that, so that you don't start doing this, which is the other thing that happens. You get this going and this going. So you're resting your hands forward and back, forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's try the other way. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And you can do it slowly as well, of course, to get the feel and slowly build it up. So let's try the other way again. Start slowly. And slowly build it up. So what generally happens when you start to go faster is that happens. So you've got to really think about keeping this still. still and quiet from here down. Strong legs. Got most of the weight on the straight leg, a little bit of weight in the bent leg. If you don't stand tall, if you are slumping a bit, you're more likely to get more movement here. Equally, if you don't use your core muscles and do really bad posture, and once again, this starts to get involved. If you try to squeeze both sides of your bum to keep yourself solid, that will help stop the shakes, but it also can look a bit stiff. So I'm squeezing my bum, still getting a little shake. So it's better not to do that, but just to feel really strong. Really strong here, and really tall here, pulling in here. See, there is a little shake going on, but not much. I'm not doing a massive thing. So let's try 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And let's try the other side. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So as you go faster, you can lose the size. You obviously can't go that size if you're going fast. And also notice what I'm emphasising. I'm emphasising more the shoulders and the upper body are doing. Other people might emphasise what the chest is doing, but it's a slightly different feeling. So if I want to emphasise more what the chest is doing, I'm sort of thinking here, I'm thinking of that turning. It gives a slightly different feeling to that. So it's a slightly different feeling. That's a bit more burlesque-y, I suppose. So it's really what you want to achieve in the looks. Now you can also do different things with your body when you're doing this. You can tip the upper body. That's quite a pretty effect. So I'm just tipping like this here. So this is contracting, this is lengthening. You can lean back a bit as well. That's rather nice too. And you can lean forward. So when I say lean forward, I don't mean slump. That doesn't look good. I mean keep a nice straight back, hinge here, and you look over your shoulder at your audience. You can even include the tip at the same time. So you've got a hinge leaning forward and a tip at the same time, and a look. So just have a practice, just start slowly. Remember your arms are nice and still. To help keep your arms from going forward and back, imagine you've got someone pushing down here. They're pushing down here and you're resisting. Resisting with your arm. That will help to stop the forward and back stuff going on. Another thing you can do is you can bend down a bit more with it and come up. So here I'm bending both knees. Obviously you need reasonable knees and ankles to do that. So try the other side, bend and up, bend and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got your bending, you've got your you're bending forward, you've got your leaning, you've got your leaning back, back bend type stuff. And obviously you can add them on top of other movements. And also you can combine this with this forward and back thing with, here I'm doing a little bit of just a figure 8 movement with the upper body, and I'm doing on top of that. Well, thank you very much for watching, and I hope that will help you with your shoulder shimmies.